Erev Tov. Hello, hello. Good to be with you. Whoops, I got to turn off my other sound there. There we go. Cantor Paul is on vacation. Barely made it up to the snow, but he made it. They closed the road, but then he made it up there afterwards. So he's away for a few days, and want to say hello to a few people, but I'm having, maybe it'll be back. Yes, it's back. Want to say hello to Rita and to Ellen and to Yvonne, who are on Facebook today. And hi, Simon here. And today is Adele's birthday. So I thought maybe I'd begin even before an opening song, just singing happy birthday to Adele. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Adele. Happy birthday to you. And may it be a good year, Adele, of good health and of blessings and goodness for you. I also, and hi to Larry as well. It's good to have you with us. Let's welcome with a little Hine Matov. Hine Matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 So, Hine matov, it is good to be with you, just to spend a few minutes with you in this evening. And I'm going to share a story. You know, we are now in the book of Exodus in our reading. And so that reminded me of kind of one of my favorite stories that I tell during Zoom Siyyum. It's an Exodus story. Among the many Israelites who left Egypt were two men, Shlumiel and Buz. Slaves never look up, they only look down. And as slaves for their entire lives, Shlumiel and Buz had grown so accustomed to looking down, they could no longer lift their eyes. When Moses brought us across the Red Sea, we all witnessed the great miracle. The sea parted and we escaped from slavery. We became a free people. We came to know that God has a purpose in our history. Shlumiel asked Buz, "What do you see?" "I see mud," Buz replied. "I see mud too. What's all this about freedom? We had mud in Egypt and we have mud here." And they missed it. They missed the miracle of their escape. The sea split before them, but they didn't see it. They only saw mud. Then we stood at Mount Sinai in the presence of God and heard God's voice proclaiming the commandments. We accepted God's covenant and pledged ourselves to become a holy people, God's partners in healing the world. Shlumiel asked Buz, "What do you hear?" "I hear someone shouting commands," Buz answered. "I hear commands too. What's all this about Torah? They shouted commands in Egypt and they shout commands here." And they missed it. They missed the miracle of hearing God's voice. God spoke to every Israelite, but Shlumiel and Buz didn't hear God's voice. They had heard enough commands. Finally, after 40 years of wandering in the desert, we arrived in the promised land, the land of milk and honey, the land promised to our ancestors. We arrived in the place of our fondest dreams. Booz asked Shlumiel, "How do you feel?" "My feet hurt," Shlumiel replied. "My feet hurt too. What's all this about a promised land? My feet hurt in Egypt and my feet hurt here." And they missed it. They missed the miracle of entering our own land, Eretz Yisrael. The Israelites returned to the land promised them by the covenant. The promise to our ancestors was fulfilled, but Shlumiel and Booz didn't know it. Their feet hurt too much. So what did they do? Well, Shlumiel and Booz turned around and began walking back toward Egypt. Some say that Shlumiel and Booz are still wandering in the wilderness, looking down at the desert sand and rocks and complaining to each other. Others say they went back to Egypt, back to Pharaoh, back to slavery, back to the place they knew best, back to the place where they began. And still others say they've seen Shlumiel and Booz, or perhaps their descendants, walking among us, living right here and now, wandering about with their eyes cast down, missing all the miracles that are taking place around them all the time. They haven't any idea where they're going. And they continue to miss all the many chances to know what life is about. If only they could lift up their eyes and see. I'd like to, before we move into our Zoom Siyyum, also offer condolences. Email went out to Simon Saul on the passing of his sister, Sima, and sending you lots of love, Simon. And we'll move into our Shema. Oh, hold on. Simon wants to say something.
Yeah, I'd like everyone to know that Rabbi Kupitz and Paul Bush, especially Rabbi Kupitz, did a bang-up job in seeing me through the letter to the congregation, the passing in the community. Thank you, Rabbi. You've been very supportive to me and the family.
Well, thank you, Simon. You know we love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, we got that out today. So we will move into our Shema and Hashkivenu prayers. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam, Leolam Vaed. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom, L'Shalom. Ve'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha, Ufros aleinu Sukat Shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right, O Adonai. Amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. 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 Please check your Thursday emails for any updates and announcements. The most important announcement is that services this week are at 6:30 p.m. Just one service at 6:30 p.m. And it will be both in person and virtual. And hope you'll tune in. It'll be New Year's Eve, so we'll have a little bit of a New Year's Eve theme to our service on Friday night, and be done in plenty of time for you to watch New Year's Eve festivities. Even if you do that on New York time at 9 p.m. California time, we'll still be done in plenty of time for you to be able to enjoy the New Year's Eve festivities on TV or however you're going to be. So you can join us online or in person. We'll end with a prayer for peace with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Amen. Erev Tov, everyone. Be back on Wednesday